The Generation 5 games, Pokemon Black and Pokemon White, hold a special place in my heart. I love these games as a young adult and have a deeper appreciation of them as I have gotten older, from the themes of the story, to the characters that are introduced to us, and to the Pokemon themselves. These games have brought Pokemon into a new age for their player base. With the rumored upcoming remakes on the horizon, Nintendo and Game Freak are going to embark on a journey that many would love to see, but could sour many expectations, just like the previous remakes have. In this video, I'll be discussing how this could be the toughest remake a Pokemon game could have. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Pokemon Black and White released on March 6, 2011 here in America, and ended up selling over 15 million copies, which sadly was worth selling for the mainline games in the series. At the time, Black and White were the most controversial games of the series, largely based on Game Freak not putting any previous Pokemon in the main game. This was something they fixed with the next installment of the game, but the initial launch of Black and White left a sour taste in the fan base's mouth with the exclusion of their favorite Pokemon. Being forced to use brand new Pokemon in your playthrough is a blessing and a curse. You learn and experience these new Pokemon. You learn what makes them good and what makes them bad. On the other hand, some people want to use what they are familiar with. Why not use a Gyarados for the third time in your playthrough? It's your favorite Pokemon. So when it was out of the game for the entire story, I can see why people dislike the absence of Pokemon. Game Freak took a risk, and it didn't quite pan out like they hoped. Throughout the years, though, many have learned to appreciate these games. These were the last games that felt like it wasn't holding your hand throughout like the new games seem to love to do. The characters felt like real people. Bianca and Cheren have wonderful stories of growth throughout. The gym leaders actually felt like they were there for the Unova region when it needed help the most. Team Plasma and Ingetis are arguably the best evil team of all time. The split between the ideologies of the team and the leaders is some of the best writing the Game Freak has ever put out, and when the sequel games came out, they expanded on this group even more. All these make the story for this game just pop out compared to the stories of the previous games, and even arguably the stories of the future games. I, for one, am happy that more people are either going back and enjoying Black and White, or just starting their journey throughout the Unova region, and seeing how different it was compared to what we had before and what we have after. To say that the last couple of remakes the Pokemon have put out to be divisive would be an understatement. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes were panned by many fans for not adding the content from Platinum, and the art style wasn't liked by many with its chibi aesthetic. For my first adventure in the Sinnoh region, I didn't mind that game at all. Yes, I never played the mainline Gen 4 games. I'll be playing Platinum soon here. The Let's Go games were a combination of Pokemon Go and Generation 1 games. This one was criticized for the use of Generation 1 yet again, and not including Pokemon that were evolutions of the Generation 1 Pokemon. I see Let's Go as a cute, child-friendly, great way to start someone with the franchise. It was a simple and fun and a beautiful return to Kanto region. So what should players expect from one of the most controversial games in the mainline series? Will they add or take away some moments from the original Black and White games? Could a new mechanic be added? That is something we will have to wait to see. Pokemon Black and White will be tough to remake because of many factors. This was the last 2D game that Game Freak put out for a mainline game. Could this potentially be an issue to how some of the cities and areas look? Imagine seeing Castelia City in a new updated engine for the Nintendo Switch, or the rumored next-gen Nintendo console. The changing seasonal cycles in the game, seeing the new Pokemon in the big scenes of the game in a new light, the updated music alone. The music in Pokemon games have always been iconic, so to hear an updated version of these songs will make me dance like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. Will we return to the triple battles that the game introduced? Will we get new forms of Pokemon knowing how much Game Freak loves to recreate existing ones? Or do they stick to how the originals are with no added content? Even if we get lucky and they do update all these amazing moments in this game, there's still one big issue that will stump the developers. And it's an issue no other Pokemon game has ever had. Pokemon Black and White are the only games that have a sequel, Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. These games are not like the revision games of the series like Crystal, Emerald, Platinum, and the Ultra games. These are games that are actual sequels to the main game, something that Game Freak has never done since. A 2-year time lapse from the first games to show the growth of characters and areas from the first game, seeing the rivals from the first game help me become a better trainer as either a gym leader like Cheren, or an assistant to the professor of the region like Bianca. Even though I think Game Freak should do this more than with just one generation, this is the main issue I have with them doing a remake when they will. How will they continue the story like Black and White 2 continued it? I can see them putting out an original Generation 5 games easily, but the sequels, which continue the story, are an incredible experience that many players should see how everything ends in the plot. Would Game Freak, or whatever developer that could possibly work on it, develop the sequel games in the same way? Could it be DLC? Could it be a modified version for post-game content that eliminates the original's post-game and uses story beats from both to make into one? This is the issue. Would I mind if they would release the original games and not the sequels? I'm not sure right now. I feel like it would leave me with this emptiness knowing that there is more, and we probably won't get the whole story. I'm hoping that Pokemon can figure something out that will make everyone happy. I hope that the remakes of Pokemon Black and White will bring new light into Generation 5. It's a series that changed Pokemon, and it's up to you if it was for the better or the worse. It'll always be a game that I put at the top of the Pokemon games. Let me know what you think in the comments below about a potential remake of the game. What do you think should happen with the story? What do you want to see? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.